Hi, my name is Hilda Ochoa, and today I will be discussing the biodiversity crisis that is occurring amongst the mammal population. To start off, what is biodiversity? Biodiversity refers to the variety of life on Earth. It includes many species of animals, plants, fungi, and microorganisms. Biodiversity is the foundation of a healthy ecosystem. The more biodiverse an area is, the more stable it is and can recover from changes. The less diverse an ecosystem is, the more vulnerable it is to disturbances that upset the whole ecosystem. So, what does this all mean? Why is the decline in biodiversity such a pressing issue? To answer the question, we must first discuss why biodiversity is beneficial to us. Biodiversity boosts the ecosystem's productivity. The more plants, animal, and species there is, the greater variety of goods and resources there will also be. Greater species diversity ensures natural sustainability for all forms of life. Biodiversity also provides a plethora of natural goods and services to us. It offers medicinal resources, protection from natural goods in the ecosystem, as well as many social services. It sustains our freshwater, stores nutrients, and produces biological resources. Biodiversity is also good for the economy. A decline in biodiversity also means a decline in food commercial and ecotourism industries. These industries will lose billions of dollars if the decline in biodiversity continues at its current pace. Not only is biodiversity good for the economy, but it is also an integral part of our culture and identity. We use many different species of plants and animals as national symbols, such as our very own California poppy and the state bird, the quail. We have laws to protect these, but what about the rest of the world's wildlife? We see a lot of endangered species used as symbols and logos. What happens when they actually fade away? A key factor of biodiversity is that the species depend on each other. Every species on Earth has a specific and important role to play in the ecosystem. Changes in biodiversity directly impacts the ecosystem, meaning we are losing the goods and services that are essential for everyday life. It also means that we are losing many of nature's chemicals and genes, so once a species is lost, it is gone for good. There are many species at the brink of extinction. More than 31,000 species are currently threatened to go extinct, and at least 10,000 species actually go extinct every year. In this past decade alone, we have seen the extinction of 467 species. Mammals specifically are going extinct at an alarming, accelerated rate. Extinction threatens more than 20% of living mammals. This biodiversity crisis can be largely linked to human activity. As we continue to overexploit our resources and demand from the ecosystem, the pressures on biodiversity continue to increase. These are some examples of wildlife that are depleting. These two animals are often targeted by poachers and hunters looking to sell their fur, skin, horns on the market for profit. There is an estimated of 3,900 tigers that remain in the wild. This number seems very small when compared to the 10,000 tigers that were estimated to be in the wild in 1990. Rhinoceroses are another example. The western black rhino and the northern white rhinos have become extinct in the wild. In 2018, the last male northern white rhino passed away. Now, let's discuss the causes behind the mammal biodiversity crisis. One of the reasons biodiversity is declining is because of habitat destruction. Many of the habitats of these animals have been destroyed or affected by human intervention. It seems that there is no place on Earth that has been left untouched by humans. There are many persistent factors on these environments, such as deforestation, habitat fragmentation, urbanization, and overpopulation. Another cause to the loss of biodiversity is invasive species. The introduction of non-native species can cause the ecosystem to be thrown off balance and new stresses to arise. If invasive species are able to adapt to the new conditions properly, they may also displace local species. Pollution and climate change are also having a big impact on these mammals. We continue to contribute to the issue by not mitigating our human footprint. Human activity influences the natural environment as well as the life that lives on it. It is causing temperatures to rise and oceans to get polluted, causing these animals to face new changes in their environment. Lastly, overexploitation is a huge factor in the loss of biodiversity. Humans are using a lot more resources than the earth can replenish. By overexploiting goods, we are directly impacting this crisis. We tend to take more than we need. Poaching and hunting animals as trophies or for gain is also a form of overexploitation. In these images, you can see that these majestic and beautiful animals in their natural and healthy habitats. The tiger and the polar bear seem normal and healthy. This is what many believe, but unfortunately, this is not the reality for many species. While it is heartbreaking to see, this is a sad reality. The tiger population has greatly declined as a result of poaching. They are killed and skinned for their fur and sold for a great deal of money. In the case of the polar bears, our human activity has created rapid climate change, causing the melting of ice. Polar bears are dependent on that ice for survival. They're using more energy than they consume. Now I want you to take a minute and pause the video and think about this question. How many mass extinctions have happened in Earth's history? Is it A2, B3, C4, or D5? Well, if you answered D, you are correct. But this number may soon change if we continue at the pace we're going. Researchers predict we are on our way to Earth's sixth mass extinction. What these researchers are saying should come off as disturbing to everyone. The last mass extinction occurred millions of years ago when the dinosaurs were wiped out. That is insane. It was estimated that in 20 years, about 25% of all mammals will be extinct. A team of researchers in Europe figured out that it would take 3 to 7 million years for evolution to replace the 300 mammal species that have gone extinct in the time humans have walked the earth. We have already caused damage that may last longer than humans themselves. Why does this matter? Well, losing a small number of species could lead to big effects. It could take a huge toll on the food chain, causing some populations to grow excessively while others become displaced. This also leads us to lose many food sources and the spread of diseases. Overall, it will be complete social and economic distraught. The wildlife that we once had will no longer be there, and there is no way to get it back once it's gone. Okay, so one of the ways we can prevent this is by practicing conservation efforts. The more we practice sustainability as well as minimizing and taking responsibility for our actions, the closer we step into the right direction. Of course, not everyone is willing to make changes to their lifestyles, but those who are willing are helping to alleviate in small ways. Another way is through government restrictions and policies. Governments can frame to protect wildlife and increase efforts to stop the illegal hunting, killing, and capturing of these animals. This would help in a huge way. Lastly, another way would be to spread awareness and get involved. There is a massive need to educate the public on the importance of preserving biodiversity. Look for organizations that promote wildlife conservation efforts, such as the WWF. Lastly, I would like to leave you all off with a quote from Harrison Ford. He said, "When we protect the places where the processes on life can flourish, we strengthen not only the future of medicine, agriculture, and industry, but also the essential conditions for peace and prosperity." Thank you.